Rosemary Pierce. Rosemary was born on October 8, 1941, in the small town of Omega, Oklahoma, brought into this world by parents Margaret and Isaac Weber. 7 years later, they welcomed her brother Henry into life on the family wheat farm, where Rosemary flourished and blossomed in country life. Growing up where farmhouses may be miles apart, as a young girl, Rosie's favorite game was playing telephone. This developed into a lifelong love of talking on the phone. Rosemary's superpower was making friends. She loved people. She instantly became friends with everyone. She unconditionally accepted people and always saw the best in them. She nurtured her friendships, keeping connections with people all over the world. The phone was her way of staying connected to her multitude of friends. Rosie was the birthday fairy. She made a point to never miss a birthday, and every year she hand-copied each friend's special day into the new calendar. Over time, her calendar became so full of birthdays that almost every day, Rosie, along with family, friends, and whoever was present, would call and sing happy birthday songs to her friends. Her love of the phone serendipitously connected her to Charles Pierce when she was a freshman at Oklahoma University. The operator crossed phone lines, connecting Charlie to Rosie. Having enjoyed their conversation, they agreed to go on a Coke date the following weekend. It became a true love at first sight story. The moment Rosie laid eyes on Charlie, she declared, "That's my husband." After Rosemary graduated with a master's degree in business education, they were married in Watonga, Oklahoma in 1963. Charles graduated with a Bachelor of Law degree at Oklahoma University. His draft deferment for the Vietnam War was then up, so he joined the Navy, and so began her life as a Navy wife. During the Vietnam War, after a year in San Diego, they were stationed in Guam. Returning to San Diego, son David was born in 1968. Every few years, Charles was stationed in different cities, taking them to Charlotte, North Carolina, Woodbridge, Virginia, Pensacola, Florida, Memphis, Tennessee, and back to San Diego. In Virginia, while Charles was working at the Pentagon, daughter Renee was born in 1972. In 1982, the family moved back to San Diego, where they finally laid down permanent roots after Charles retired from the Navy. It was then that they discovered St. Mark's United Methodist Church and made it their religious home. Rosie loved St. Mark's and became an active member, joining choir, a women's circle, the annual women's retreat, adult Bible study, taking communion to shut-ins, organizing readers for Sunday services, and giving special piano performances during some memorial services. Rosemary had the soul of an artist. She loved music and was extremely gifted at piano. She enjoyed playing piano from the time she learned as a young girl at 4 years old throughout her life. Even having Parkinson's disease didn't keep her from tickling the ivories with grace and joy. She was also a talented singer, painter, avid gardener. She adored flowers, and gourmet cook. Rosemary faced many health challenges in her life. She survived breast cancer twice and lived with Parkinson's disease for 25 years. She never let her health issues get her down. She faced everything with strength, grace, and courage. She used her experience with cancer to help others through volunteering and then working for the American Cancer Society. Having shared a wonderful life of 60 years together, Charlie passed away on April 13, 2019. Being the warrior woman that she was, Rosemary continued to smile through her grief. She laughed and enjoyed life, spending time with her friends and 2 children, until she was able to rejoin her true love. Rosemary was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer at the beginning of 2021. She passed 2 years and 1 day. She passed 2 years and 1 day from her beloved Charlie on April 14, 2021. She was a devoted daughter, caring sister, beloved wife, amazing mother, and cherished friend. She will be dearly missed by all that knew her, living on in our hearts and memories as bright as the sun. She is now a rose in heaven's garden. Rosemary Pierce, absent from the body, present with the Lord.
Harry Howard Dempster, April 3rd, 1930 to October 22nd, 2020. Harry was the third of 4 children born to Robert and Jessie Webb Dempster. The family lived in McAllen, Ohio, where Harry's father owned a newspaper and magazine delivery service. Harry attended schools in McAllen, graduating from Washington High School in 1948. He then joined the U.S. Air Force and was trained to service and repair both propeller and jet airplane engines. He was sent to Panama, where in addition to servicing engines, he served as a crew member of sea rescue missions in the waters around the part of the world. Upon his honorable discharge in 1951, he enrolled in the Ohio State University. As a youngster, Harry became fascinated with airplanes and the possibility of space travel, affirming his belief that someday people would fly in outer space and reach the moon. It's not surprising, then, that he chose aeronautical engineering as his major. When Russia's Sputnik proved that space travelers were possible, he switched his major to the new field of astronomical engineering, graduating in 1958, summa cum laude. During his college years, he renewed his acquaintance with Arlene Allison, also from McAllen, and in 1954 they were married. Their first son, David, was born in April of 1958. Very few engineers had studied astronomics, and those who were in demand. Harry was pleased to receive a job offer at General Dynamics' new astronomics division, and the family headed west to San Diego, where they purchased a house in Claremont, which is still the family home. Since Harry was among the very few with any knowledge of his new discipline, he was a source of information for what he had learned, and the supervisors asked to join his classes. He designed and programmed several crucial orbital mechanics and payload performance computer programs which produced answers more quickly and accurately. Harry represented the company as well as they worked with NASA and other agencies who were developing planetary missions. At his retirement in 1987, he received commendations from both General Dynamics and NASA for his significant contributions to the space program. Harry's personal life revolved around his family, Arlene, David, and their second son, Stephen, who was born in 1959. They enjoyed several vacations together, driving back to Ohio to visit family there, and then returning to San Diego by different routes to see the country. Harry loved water sports, especially sailing and scuba diving. For several summers, he and Arlene took their boat to Catalina Island, living aboard for weeks at 2 harbors. They also sailed regularly with the Convair Sailing Club. For several years, Harry volunteered with the San Diego Humane Society's Pet Assistance Therapy Program. At St. Mark's, he served as co-lay leader, youth counselor, Boy Scout troop treasurer, and as a member of several committees. His favorite service was being the 2-year-old room monitor on Sunday mornings. He felt his role was to help the children learn that church was a safe and good place to be, and several parents said he achieved his goal. Harry died of natural causes at home and is survived by his wife of 66 years, Arlene, sons David, Marie, and their children, Jeremy, Justin, Tim, and Christina, Kyle, and granddaughter Parker, second son Steve and Daisy, and their 4 children, Chrisabel and daughter Victoria, Thomas, Brandon, Kyle, Joey, and Kelly, his younger brother Bill, and his brother and sister-in-law Jim and Darlene Allison, all of whom will miss him greatly. Harry Howard Dempster, absent from the body, present with the Lord.
Sandra Sandy Minch Palandri. Sandy K. Minch was born on April 11th, 1963 in Seattle, Washington. She came home to her family on Easter Sunday. Sandy was the light of their lives. They moved to San Diego in 1966 and lived in University City. Sandy was baptized at St. Mark's in December of that year. An honors student, she attended UCSD and earned her master's degree in engineering. She married her classmate, Mark Palandri, in 1987. Sandy had a passion for learning and traveled the world. A third degree, black belt in Subak Do Karate, she retired early and moved to South Korea. She lived in Spain. She spent time in France and Australia. She loved art and visiting museums in New York City and Florence, Italy. She called Little Italy in San Diego home. Sandra fought a fierce battle against aggressive breast cancer. She died in Valencia, Spain on May 30th, 2021 at the age of 58 with Mark by her side. Gone too soon, Sandra is remembered for her kindness and generosity. Through genealogy, she connected with extended family and brought joy to everyone who knew her. She will be loved and cherished forever. Sandra Palandri is survived by her husband, Mark, her mother, Lou, father, Harlow, and sister, Karen. Sandra was like a butterfly. She was gentle, strong in purpose, and delicate in nature. Butterflies appear when angels are near. Fly free, Sandy. Sandra Sandy Minch Palandri, absent from the body, present with the Lord.
Klein, Rosellen Elsner, was born October 16, 1928 in Tucson, Arizona, and died on September 20th, 2019 at Wesley Palms in San Diego. Richard Marion was born July 23, 1925 in Mexico, Texas, and died on January 6, 2021 at Wesley Palms in San Diego. This is my story. This is my song. As children, they both moved to San Diego, Rosellen to Idaho Street in North Park, and Richard's family settling on Hornblende Street in Pacific Beach. They both graduated from San Diego High School. I'll fly away. In 1943, referred by the high school music head and local Packard dealer where he painted cars, Dick became an avid cadet, an aviation cadet with the U.S. Army Air Corps, and graduated from pilot training. His war service included piloting P-38s. At war's end, he separated as a second lieutenant, though continuing in the Air Force Reserve until retiring as a major in 1985. This was the foundation of his lifelong obsession with the flight. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. Rose entered San Diego State College to study art and psychology. She met Dick, who played football with the Aztecs, as he earned his BA in economics and accounting with speech arts. Talented, ever smiling, and creative, Rose became his sweetheart of Sigma Chi. Blessed be the tie that binds. In 1948, they were married in Normal Heights Methodist Church, followed by a Grand Canyon honeymoon and living in student housing. After graduation, they moved to a house in Ocean Beach, and Dick began a 30-year career with Sears Roebuck. For the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the skies. Planning for a family, they found a home in Linda Vista. Soon Rick was born in 1950, and then daughter Cheryl in 1952. The family enjoyed many days at the beaches and in the mountains of San Diego with family, friends, relatives, finishing with the community of songs at campfire and bonfires. His eye was on the sparrow. With the children starting school, they bought a new home in Kearny Mesa and became involved in scouts, amateur radio, school and service organizations, gardening, home improvement projects, and vacation camping trips to see the wilds of the western U.S. Rose began a career with the Department of Motor Vehicles. Dick got his commercial pilot's license as well as community college instructor credential and was a member of the Community College District Citizens Advisory Council. Then, with kids off to college, Dick and Rose relocated to University City. Dick retired early from Sears and started work for the city of San Diego in central store surplus sales. They became active in volunteer activities: church, Air and Space Museum, Natural History Museum, Rotary, United Way, Torrey Pines golf tournaments. They delighted in supporting local arts and culture, the La Jolla Symphony, Lamb Player Theater, and the zoo. Community involvement eclipsed their retirement, though they made time for travel to discover new horizons. Beside visiting family at distant reaches, they went on over 30 elder hostel trips, experiences taken on with characteristic enthusiasm, creativity, and collaboration. Lives well lived, threaded together by song. I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. The last move for Rose and Dick was to Wesley Palms, a retirement living community that visualized by Dick's parents, Pacific Beach United Methodist Church. The last days of their almost 70 years of marriage were the summer house garden at Wesley Palm. Rose and Dick Klein, absent from the body, present with the Lord.
Dolores J. and Richard H. Montfort. The Montforts were both natives of Iowa. Richard was born May 27, 1923, and Dolores was born April 17, 1925. They lived in Missouri and several places in Iowa before moving to San Diego, where First Lieutenant Richard Montfort, Army Air Force pilot, worked in sales with the Studebaker organization and a television dealership following his military service. In addition to being members of St. Mark's, Richard was a Mason, active as a Shriner and a Charger fan, while Dolores was interested in poetry and bowling. Together they raised 3 sons, Michael, Brian, and Scott, now residing respectively in San Diego and Los Angeles, California, and Coppell, Texas. Richard preceded Dolores in death on May 2, 2002. Dolores passed away on June 23, 2020. The Montforts will be remembered as a very caring couple, empathetic to others, and noted for helping the less fortunate. Dolores J. and Richard H. Montfort, absent from the body, present with the Lord.
John Robert Bob McMeakin, September 30th, 1935 through January 24th, 2021. John Robert Bob McMeakin was born in Ottawa, Canada on September 30th, 1935. When World War II began, Bob's father was deployed abroad in the Canadian Army, and Bob and his baby sister, Marilyn, were placed in a Catholic orphanage. When the war ended, their father remarried and moved to Michigan. Bob and his sister were reunited with their father and stepmother in Detroit. As a young boy, Bob was a boy soprano, singing in the church choir. He became an avid baseball fan with a dream of becoming a professional baseball player. He played baseball in high school and upon graduation was signed by the Detroit Tigers and began his dream come true. Unfortunately, Bob's dream was short-lived. During that first year, he suffered an arm injury and could no longer pitch. In 1954, Bob enrolled at Michigan's Albion College, where he became interested in drama, sang in a barbershop quartet, and became a member of Delta Sigma Phi fraternity. During his college years and beyond, Bob had major roles in many productions such as Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, Tea House of the August Moon, Mr. Roberts, and The Fantastics. It was at Albion that Bob met his future wife, Carol. After she graduated in 1957, Bob transferred to Wayne State University in Detroit, where he received his degree in education and his teaching credential. Bob and Carol were married June 14, 1958. Bob served in the U.S. Army and Michigan's National Guard and received his master's degree from the University of Michigan. The McMeakin's first daughter, Lori, was born in 1962. Taking a break in his teaching career, Bob attended Eden Theological Seminary in Missouri, studying under theologian Dr. Walter Brueggemann in 1966 through 67. It was here his second daughter, Sherry, was born on the first day of classes. Bob and his family returned to Michigan, where he continued his teaching career until he was contacted as a teacher reading specialist in Estes Park, Colorado. While there, he trained under N.C. Kephart at the Glen Haven Achievement Center in Fort Collins in identification and treatment of children with learning disabilities. He then established his perceptual learning program in the Estes Park Elementary School, which became a pioneer in this field in the state of Colorado. The McMeakins moved to San Diego in 1970, where Bob became involved with various areas of writing, including educational, technical, TV, and particularly worship materials. In the spring of 2002, Bob was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. He underwent surgery and chemotherapy and recovered from this ordeal. For many years following, he participated in Relay for Life events in San Diego. Joining St. Mark's Methodist Church 50 years ago, Bob was active in many areas of the church, including lay speaking, care corps, missions, finance, beach services, annual yard sales, CCSA hunger walks, and the Living Nativity. He enjoyed the Men's Breakfast Club and TNT. First and foremost, he looked forward to preaching at St. Mark's and many other churches in the San Diego area. His last sermon was at St. Mark's in October 2019. Bob enjoyed bowling, golfing, and skiing with family and friends. Bob and Carol loved traveling, visiting many states and countries, including the Holy Land, along with several cruises. Sadly, this chapter of Bob's life ended with several health issues in the COVID pandemic. He went home to be with the Lord on January 24th, 2021. Bob is survived by his wife of 63 years, Carol, 2 daughters, Lori Pluchek, Bruce, and Sherry Hoffman, Bill, 4 grandchildren, Diana, Michael, Suki, Stephen, Kyle, and Paris, and 2 great-grandchildren, Aubrey and Mycroft. Also his sister Marilyn and half-sisters and brothers, Fred, Barbara, Valerie, Henry, Michael, Claire, and Catherine, along with many cousins, nieces, nephews, and so many friends. He will be greatly missed. John Robert Bob McMeakin, absent from the body, present with the Lord.